Hello, folks. Welcome and welcome back. Sorry, right before the morning here was very complicated. Internet falling randomly in the middle of the stream for no reason, and then when I returned, there was an expectation of a delivery, but it would come sooner than expected, and then I had to interrupt the stream. And then today, big prize. Actually, Blender conference just finished, but some of the conference were very, very wild. Particularly, maybe you've watched many probably already, or are gonna watch. I found this one, so like today, right, the third day, rigging with nodes, change everything. So yeah, this is big indeed. And this was ready by this guy, Joseph Brandenburg. Yeah, so this guy made this. I knew the add-on, but I didn't knew it was an extension, so free and and already for 6 months. This is incredible. This is exactly the kind of things I was looking for. And I didn't complete the watching yet, but it does look like that's exactly what it means to be. So that if I try to install this thing here, it is an extension. Yeah, it should be here. Mantis. Well, maybe there is a special path for installation. Yeah, so maybe it's not rigging nodes. Yeah, so apparently it's not here, so maybe it's not what I thought, but I think it's free and it's maybe it's just not ready as an extension, or maybe I need to update but yeah, it seems to be. There are some links here at some point. Let's say rigging. No, not here. So something about there's some place here where, yeah, so there's a website where we can download a course, right? Something like that. Nodes tools, yeah. And so this will dot tools, apparently this okay, maybe it was just during the, but the fact is I've downloaded this thing, but there was an instruction there for installation. Well, maybe I just look for Mantis rigging nodes. Yes, it's free and open source, yes. So Gumroad, right? So so I knew that didn't just read carefully enough, but yeah, there are many updates here. Some other rigger mentioned it lacked documentation, but actually now it seems that there is enough documentation. So I don't think there's a good place to where it was posted, but okay, that. So there are some videos, there are okay, so this is an extension. Here's the installation guide apparently. Yeah, it seems to be not ready. Add a new extension repository by clicking repository. Ah, here. Stop clicking plus appears the drop down. Choose add remote repository. Okay, apparently we need to. Okay, never did this one. Okay, so gonna try this. So I get extend repository, add. Okay, I don't seem to be able to find. Let's continue checking here. So add a new extension by clicking on repositories in the top right. Click the plus sign. Okay. So then there's a here. Okay, add here. Yeah, and this right. Choose that remote then for. Now use the search bar to run when you manage to click install. Okay, great. So that never used this setup before. There it is, and we can get it. All right, so it is an extension, but we need to bring it as this link. Okay, I never used this, so I think it's here, so it's installed, and there should be some widget library folder, import widgets into collections. Yeah, here we could have another name for this, but this, I don't care right now. Meta curves, curve objects, something, and import meta armatures into collections. Are these meta armatures the ones from Rigify, or are these specific to Mantis? I don't know. So it works with the concept of meta rigs, but maybe it's not exactly the same meta rig. It creates a meta rig through nodes setup. That's why it's rigging nodes, right? And the idea is that this is super versatile. Actually, I think this is a candidate for Rigify 2.0 because, like, it can. It will be great if it used the same meta rig, but I guess not. It might be another setup. It's an abstract meta rig. By the way, it's a nodes meta rig, right? Nodes based meta rig. But maybe it also exists as a meta rig as a Rigify. That'll be crazy, right? Anyways, I'm gonna save here, and so I'm building here. This will be very time consuming, but I have this old starship. I've been clicking this on another compositing setup, and it's very huge. It's not super large, but it's big. Lots of my idea here, what I need to do in order to start using this. This area can be, perhaps can get a camera from here. Let's see this one. Make this active camera. Shift control. Okay. Let's see. Let's make a screenshot here. But this, I'm using this new the compositing, right? And we don't have compositor nodes yet. This is a shame, but it is gonna arrive. For me, this will be super valuable. Right now, I need to make node groups. I hate the group system in Blender in nodes. I find super confusing to tab in and out. edit those input-output groups. That looks crazy. I don't like it. Just don't have familiarity. Don't like the system. I avoid as much as I can. I like when they appear the join frames, right? But for compositor nodes, we need to use this. So I have to save a group from another file, then link the group, then unmake the group, then I can edit the nodes. Okay, so instead, so you see, I'm not even use the group anymore. Just bring it. Just made it to be able to bring this setup. So this is the setup that I was working before, and so I was able to build to see some of, yeah, it's kind of crude here. The materials are very, very incorrect, but you see that we can get very crazy effects already if we are careful enough. What I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna render this, and we'll try to make some additions here. Could be in this area here we have too much lighting. I don't remember the name of this place. Yeah, we have some lights here. They don't seem to affect the too much here, so I have to harmonize everything here regarding this. Yeah, so this pass-through sun is too strong here, but for the other shot it was too little, so we have a lot of problems here to solve. The problem is that, also another problem, I have multiple things here, but I want to reuse this reconstruct for the storytelling. Yeah, instead of building an entire new Cozzy shuttle as I was engaging, I think I can make the storytelling from here. It will be, but for this I need to retake this project here of this starship. I just need some shots, and so I need to divide all these settings, these areas, into linkable assets, right? So I need to make, for example, this room here, I'll make it into a different blend file so we can link everything, and this will be much faster to do all this stuff, right? And then I can start harmonizing. So the light systems are different. Light objects now have this exposure. Probably I'll have to ruin the other compositor in this for this scene, but that's okay because I never compose very well here anyway. So for now I will be just striving with this new compositor for old school graphisms. Okay, so it's unclear what I need to do here, but I think this is just too much. Yeah, I'm having some... Okay, I'm gonna try to render this. Oh yeah, it's the effect of the other lights probably. So now lights have lots of stuff. This light exposure for me, it's the best thing, because now we can really control, at least for EV, we can really do a lot of stuff. See, it takes too long to render because I believe the scene is gigantic. Actually it's not too bad. I was expecting more darkness, but all this graininess we can solve in different ways. But before that, let's see now this yeah, so these are, maybe we can, look at these powers here. This is we don't need this. Yeah, apparently just two light objects here, and we can play with their Yeah, so the light system would be changed anyway, so it's okay to be making those change, right? So there's glasses, there are a lot of stuff here that are challenged to... I never tried to render glass with this this new setup here. Okay, just make some tests of render, and you see so I'll start dividing this setting. I was already started doing that, organized, but it's too big, right? So it's tedious, right? Because I need to create a new blend file to... It's also good for the updates, right? These crossing things, I don't know what this is about. I think it's some sunlight, but what we're gonna do is gonna bring back the compositor here, and we're gonna start tweaking, because it's just for this this compositor node is back up somewhere else, so I don't care. It's an asset. So you see, we can clean these grains here. Or from here, maybe. Yeah, from here seems better. So you could try to implement some kind of texture here, right? Here's some sharpen. Here we can decide which kind of ambient occlusion. Yeah, usually we use the first. Yeah, so we could try something like no, I don't have a... Yeah, I will have to make some sort of... Isn't some kind of texture we can bring from... Yeah, from here, I don't know. Maybe, yes, maybe there's some procedural... No, I think we cannot recall from here. Yeah, so never mind. We're gonna just try to make some... basic procedural stuff here. They've changed this shortcut to something. No, Alt J, okay. Yeah, this is before the... Yeah, it's beautiful, but it's not into what we want. That seems interesting patch. Yeah, so I could try anything to lots of stuff here anyways. Yeah, no, not this one. Yeah, ideally if you have a pattern that is an image size, that is much easier, right? But I don't have right now available, have to download or find, no time for that. So let's go past and see if we can get other patterns. No, if we can. Oh yeah, I have a very compromised setup here. I wasn't looking properly. Okay, this is something else, okay. Oh yeah, this overlay, maybe this is the problem. These things are getting a bit too incorrect, right? They should not come with this kind of power, right? They're stacking in a very disruptive way right now. So you need to bring like a mix. Bring back the original, right? To reinforce, and then from this we try to mix back. Yeah, actually the original one is compromised also because it's too dark. So it's not those things that are disrupting. It's already being disrupted because of the yeah, possibly this thing. You see, we were able to get some patchy things there, which is interesting, with a stupid procedural setup. Now even those horizontal lines, they are not so horrible. That's kind of Twilight. Like interesting, right? Yeah, then I have some artifacts there. You can call these artifacts. And then here, whichever we prefer, right? Yeah, so this is very cool. Even with a crappy setup in the scene, we were able to get something. So this is super cool, this kind of compositing with those this approach, right? The materials are all broken, right? They are not even meant to work with this, right? But it's super impressive. So let's save this as yeah, this one. Where's the image? Save as. Yes, so manga scenery. Let's do. I'm calling ironically manga. It's not manga, right? It looks like CGI. It's just because it's part of my inspiration. All right, so. And we can see everything in this let's see how the glasses look like. These are glasses, but they don't seem to be working correctly, so yeah, they are not really. I think there are glasses. There are glasses, big glasses through space. Let's try shot here. Frame. I think this glass is pure transparent, so it's not relevant for any effect. It'll take a while. It's lagging a little. Yeah, so I have rigging nodes. I want to test this thing. Okay, what do you have here? Yeah, here is the pool. At least that looks good. We need some compositing here to see the star. Yeah, the star should come as a different an add thing. I think I have it here, but nothing is ready here. It's like the environment, right? Let's just sort of isolate the world. It's kind of tricky. There are different ways to do this masking. You can call it masking. So yeah, so all these rooms, all these areas, you need to. Yeah, so this is the area which I got from the screenshot. Okay, we need to step. I was playing the animation. No, we need to separate those. Oh, now it's playing. Okay, some of these objects by creating a new blend file and bringing. So for example, here we have some objects. There are plenty of stuff here. This doesn't need to come alongside with this. It can be a linked object because it's just it will be right agglutinated in the wall into these mountains. So, but there's too many objects to care about, so I have to. Actually, they are all here, right? So I have this. It's this collection. Oh yeah, okay. So it's. I have some other linked. So this could cause problems because all these are linked from other files, and then they arrive into here. But so this is the thing that I need to make into a. Where is this from? Okay, so this one, for example, yeah, it's linked, but we're gonna move it. I need to parent it to this empty. Yeah, so now it's made part of it. So we're gonna do a thing that here is a bit annoying. So we're gonna. Okay. So we're gonna need to reproduce some data here of the render, but I think I know by default. So it's okay if they don't match, they will just be for the original file. So for example, here we can create a brand new file. We can delete everything. We can, but I need to save this file now in the. So this is the file that I need to spread into multiple parts. So it will be this thing. This is badly organized because we have things from different scenery types. So what I want here is the starship. Yeah. We'll call it new Scene 5 starships. It's the big starship, yeah. It's not a mother ship exactly, but it's a. This is good enough, yeah, starship. So what we're gonna place there is. Yeah, this was one already, and we could bring. This thing here, which was the one I was working on, but cannot move it, I guess. So nothing to do here. I have to do this from the folder. I'm not gonna bother with this now. So we're gonna just save inside the scenery. Starship New Scene 5. We can also get. Yeah, I have a new collection. We can do something like. So this is like what I was doing for a previous 3D webcomics, the Dorothy Lounge. Dorothy Lounge. I cannot move that. Okay, so yeah. Oh yeah, nothing was movable apparently. Yeah. So we're gonna save something here. So we're gonna call it. Starship New Scene 5, but of course this is like an iteration of it, so it's not Observer, it's the Greenhouse Atelier. Yeah, so this is the complement of the starship, right? It will probably need those names, but it's okay. We organize that later. Just one single name. So what we need to do now is to bring the asset browser here. Shift F1 twice. We gonna forgot that. So we're gonna have to reopen the Starship News. See, no, it's not here. It's this one. Need to break down it, break it apart. So here I forgot even little detail here. As I got this asset here, an entire empty object here with a lot of child objects, we're gonna bring it to scenery, and yeah, just scenery. Yeah, have some modular stuff, but doesn't matter. So here is entire scenery is here. It's a category, not a folder. This one we're gonna update here. Now I need to save here. Gonna now these are real folders. We want here okay, something happened that it cannot find. I don't know what's happening. Okay, here. So it's opened. Now we can bring not an assign but the scenery. So we're gonna bring this stuff right here. And by default, it came alone. No, this is not possible. Okay, so it seems that it failed miserably. Unexpected. Yeah, it didn't. So I don't understand what's going on here. This was the it's a collection. It's a collection. So yeah, stupid mistake, folks. It's like this is not simple, right? Even the idea of this being a collection is not trivial. It's not very intuitive. Okay, let's go back here. So wrong thing to be. It's completely wrong. So it's not. I'm uncheck this. So no more clear asset. Yeah, no more asset from this file. So we're gonna just get. Yeah, I need a sub collection then. Well, you know, the problem is that this greenhouse is already big enough, so I'm a bit afraid that, yeah, like you have these rooms, this entire stuff, yeah. I need to decide it here, this upper part also, it's huge, so it's kind of tricky to decide. And then at the top, yeah. So, yeah, maybe we can accept the that is the whole of the starship, so it could be another piece. It might be difficult to find what to compose here, yeah, but we're gonna bring this. Okay, so we're gonna make the greenhouse into a Marcus asset, and we're gonna bring it here. Okay, now the mesh appears. We're gonna bring it to scenery. We're gonna save, and we're gonna open scenery here. We're gonna do this on this new file. So there is nothing here, so we can delete everything. We're gonna use the this library asset system platform here, this pathway, and here we go. We bring this here, bring it back to the center. It's not just a library override that I need to do here. It's more complicated than that. So I need to actually bring this as we're contaminating the scene with data here. Let's purge those things. We're going to change this to append just for no, yeah, we're gonna append, so we don't need to handle library overrides anymore. So there might be some assets here that, okay, this thing got completely displaced because I think we moved its origin. We might have to recompose it from yeah, so I don't have the positions here. So let's see if everything is working. Yes. Except that we don't seem to have, apparently some elements here were no, they are here. Is the materials got all broken probably. No, they are here, but we don't know what happens to their okay, so here we got these. So these are assets. They were appended, and then they lost their linkable thing. So this is a big problem to solve because I have to bring them back as assets. The lights are fine. So now what we need to do is to do something a bit crazy. I don't know another method. I've asked, I think many people have the same issue with this system. So I'm gonna make this another asset here. And we're gonna, yeah, we're gonna bring this to scenery. Now we have a duplicate, but it's just temporary. We can spot, although here we cannot very well, but we can see where it comes from. So this is from the starship. And this from this file, greenhouse. So it's current, yeah, current file, and this one is, so you need to, we want this one as a asset right here, and this one we want to have it dissolved. So for this we need to return to the starship, the big one. Now we need to clear asset here. Okay, no more. So this comes from here, but now we have an accident collection, which is very bad, right? What we need to do is to actually, I'm not gonna delete it yet, but yeah, we'll lose the position, but I don't want the repeated name, so I'm gonna actually delete this thing. Actually, delete hierarchies, get rid of everything. Let's purge. And now we're gonna bring this, now we bring this as a link. It's my default. We're gonna bring it back to the original position. Okay, we need to library override it. Select the content. Now I'm gonna bring it exactly here. And we're gonna bring this and these objects to okay, for some reason it is not working. Okay, I need to do for the two groups, because this is not an object. And now you need to find a way to replace this. It doesn't need to be perfect, because we are restructuring some of this stuff anyways. And now that we are using this system, it might be a bit more difficult to reposition this, because we cannot edit them in here. But at least they are linked assets. So we're gonna be maybe we'll lose a little of accuracy, but for me at this point it's fine, because these blocks are meant to be, yeah, they're like building blocks, like almost like we can abstract almost like procedural stuff, right? And this already is positioned there as we left in the other scene, right? So of course these things I will not edit them here. I will link these trees, all these assets which come from other files. I'll bring them from, I'll link them to my source file here. This is not this one. And the cool thing here is that if I click here, if I click this thing here, for example, yeah, actually this, and we go to live, no, not this, we can use this add-on extensions here, edit link library, and we're gonna move directly to this. So I can make additions here, and whichever thing that it's also saving, whatever I do, it will gonna save. But here we have a lot of work to do, and also there's no compositing here, right? So it's garbage. We need to bring we need to set up some stuff. The basic thing is that I got this for free in the Blender star thing. It's like this file here you get is a HDRI thing with that name from Blender. What's the name? That Blender asset add-on, right, or extension, get free and paid assets, all sorts of assets, including this stuff. So you can use this to see the space, right? Without any world, just like that. And this can be used for the render as well. But I'm not using for render, just using for the viewport, material viewport, so you can have this sensation, right? The perception of deep space, and it's kind of cool. Yeah, it's very lightweight also. So I'm using directly this, like here. Well, here we're gonna have to use some transparent landscape here, otherwise we can't compose, right? But anyways, we gonna get the nodes here. So the nodes trees here, we're gonna use the, yeah, and this hill they already removed this, or it's in the process, Blender 5, right? So here we're gonna use the group. No, we don't have here, so we need to bring it from the, again here. So I've made this thing, so yeah, actually it's confusing, it's here. I'm gonna shift control alt G, gonna disrupt this thing, and then now we're gonna make the connections. This is incorrect. We'll need to do some small adjustments here. One, just the ambient occlusion. And this will come right here. Of course, we need to render. We need a camera. Okay, I forgot about the camera. Yeah, the camera is not here. The camera would be in the big one. Yeah, so that's fine. I'm not sure about the cameras because now I have this different setup. Okay, so the camera will not be the compositing is not working yet. Yeah, we need to render something, right? So this is, I'm doing this one just to be able to check as we create materials here for, then we can make the test in the same compositing system, right? So it will be very practical. Much better if we had compositing nodes at some point, okay? So we're gonna render this camera, this frame. I have wrong rendering setups, yeah. There's no light in this scene. No, there are a few, I think. Yeah, there are a few. But you don't have those global suns. That could be tricky, yeah. So yeah, this could trick us, so you need to to reproduce, it has to copy some settings of global sun. But as this camera, for now, it will be outside. The suns for this don't need to be pointing in any particular direction, I think. So we're gonna add, it's like 2 suns. The first one is like maybe the normal one, or actually I don't like, so it's don't really have a name. This will be ghost sun, whatever. This is normal, yeah. So this one doesn't have shadows, so it's traverse everything. And we can decide what we can so it's like a base light, but this can be some sort of a dim, like a dim diffuse thing, right? It's good that it is somewhat pervasive. It can be a bit everywhere, but it might be very subtle. It will be better if we could also hide everything else. I don't have good collections here for visualizing this, but yeah, it's not good to be doing this. Good reason to have ambience subdivided into multiple files, but it's okay for now. So this is too much exposure for this dim light, so something like this I think can work. And here we could get maybe, yeah, 1 is enough, right? Yeah, let's try this. And this angle, I'm not sure what we can get. So the default is this, but looks like this is not bad, so we can get some value like here. And now for the normal sun, it takes so much time to save, probably because I'm streaming. So here, this one could have like, yeah, so this we can extrapolate a little, but this you need to be very careful. This value now is probably, let's leave the default. Here the default is 10. And of course this is too much. It will depend on the stars that will be illuminated. So this has shadow, right? It will cast shadows. So I think here we could have 3, maybe 6, 5, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 seems adequate. And then some settings that we need to procure here. Samples in the viewport, I just get 6. Well, this scene is so big that maybe just 1. So then here we don't want this because for navigation, right? Then we want for rendering, let's get 48 for now. shadows. So yes, shadows. We're gonna reset. So all these are default, right? So I don't. I've my yeah. This could be useful sometimes, but not here. I don't know how to use this. Ray tracing, yes, we want that. This is 1-to-1. Screen tracing is default. Denoising, all this I decided to use. Here also 1-to-1, and all this default. Leaving open what is. I like to copy these settings. Volumes we're not using. This I don't know. Simplify, yes, it's we don't care. Yeah, at least this. This not for now. This very important. We're gonna minimize this value. It's very good for the graining things. Film. So this could be useful for compositing the environment, but it's not necessarily needed here. But we're gonna get it ready. So in principle, if you add world here, this will be transparent, right? Or not? Okay, yeah, it is. Okay, nothing's happened, so I don't care. It's we see the star somehow. Then we can get performance. I think this, yes. The rest doesn't. I don't care. And freestyle, I use the grease pencil. Forgot this standard. Okay. And this exposure don't touch because this we access. Look at the brightness here. So we might have to replay this stuff here. So this ghost sun is a bit too strong, right? So let's lower this exposure. Maybe lower the strength, right? Okay, something like that. And then the normal sun, I'm gonna try to reduce to 3, 4. Okay, to 3, and the exposure we give a value like this. So these are an approximation, right? Because we need to have everything integrated in the big starship, so we have to find something here, some pattern that will probably work with everything, but then it's still okay because there are some lights here which you can play in the case it's too dark. Yeah, so the problem, I think the major problem is the suns, the global suns, they are too bright. If things are too dark, we just add more lights, specific lights to these things, right? And okay, also for the camera resolution, for now I'm doing something simple, but simpler. And yeah, that's all we need for now. Yeah, these are some drivers. It doesn't matter. We're gonna render this and gonna try to compose this shot here. I haven't adjusted lights for the greenhouse, so maybe you have some very strong lights, old lights, ancient lights here. Yeah, look at this power here, it's ridiculous. so I'm not using this. But this doesn't seem to be doing much anyway, so I'm gonna okay, so it is, but just for this area there. No, this is not a light. The light is this. And it doesn't seem to... Interesting. Yeah, so perhaps these materials are a bit too dark here, so we have this brutal exposure for these things. This light shouldn't be, yeah. It's not oriented also in the way that it will expose these doors very well, right? Yeah, they are symmetric, but maybe something about the lighting is not right now. This one, where it is from? Okay, probably this is something a bit deprecated. There's no use for that. I'm gonna delete. And this is a default one that is... No, this is not a light. So I have then this one, which is here. Okay, so this one is also like unclear, non-substantial. We're gonna delete. Yeah, so we're left with just those ones. And also some inside here. The materials don't seem to be responsive here. If those were to be glass, you have to revise what happened to this. They used to be transparent. They don't seem to contain anything. Yeah, they seem to have been lost to the void. So they are just some blank materials. You have to substitute them. So good didactical things. So fortunately we have some materials here. They are all here. So they are glass in space. Yeah, this is so old that the names are different. So, and glass outer space. Carpets purple. Carpet red. Carpet green. It's steel or jade. The names though, yeah, because this exists in other There are some assets here that are repeated and like that. Have to rename them. Carpet blue and metal aluminum. We're gonna substitute by metal patch. This one maybe, yeah. Looks like this. Oh yeah, it's a different material, right? So you have to different objects. I need to do this. It's all deprecated here. And now suddenly things are too dark here, despite of the lightings here. Yeah, so these materials are probably causing this. We'll need to maybe augment a little this light here. And there's another area here. I don't see where it is. Okay, they are... I see. Okay. Yeah, just some sort of symmetric ones. It's strange. It looks like a panel, floating panel, but it's actually a light. Okay, anyways, we got some small progress here, so let's try to render a shot from here. It's interesting, but of course extremely dark. We need to revise the compositor here. And let's see what we can achieve here. Let's make sure we got this thing ready. Yes. Ambient occlusion, yeah, the first one is, this one is good. So again, we're getting Oh, this noise is not... Yeah, this noise is from the tapestry, it's not... Yeah, see, it's just a very little white noise here. I've lost the other setup of the paper. Okay, this one is good to control. You could change this, right? But let's leave this. This is for base tests, right? While we are working, but we shouldn't be changing this too much. It's just to see if default. Yeah, it looks beautiful. I think the patterns, some of them, right? Some things. So the compositor will affect all the thing in the all the things in the final scene. So we need to be aware of that. So we cannot. But the good thing about these approaches of the compositor is that we can, for each shot, even if it's the same scene, for each frame, unless it's animation, right? But for 3D webcomics, with still images often, we just have to readjust, right? Too much of this yeah, I need to work more here. It's essentially it's the materials that are not adequate for this one, right? We need to rework materials one by one to... We don't need to take off the colors of the materials necessarily, but I want to make a version that will be at least... I've already started doing that. I don't have sounds of materials in the collection, so for each one there will be one of the manga versions, right? Yeah, so this one I was I'm a bit stuck because of the can't get rid of excessive granularity. Unless I'm forgetting something super basic. No, we'll get it from everywhere, yeah. So I need to track the materials which are causing the worst effects, right? Usually the dark ones. Those with some darker colors, darker tones, right? Alright, so once we get this, yeah, we can, for example, return to the item So whichever things we edited here has been updated on for the greenhouse. So that means that all the broken materials probably now they are not sure I should be playing this in this state. Is that simplify on or off? No, on. So off on now. So it's not. It's really the compositor here is taking a lot, but very beautiful, stylistic CGI graphics. Like remember some Mac old games on Mac. I don't know if you have seen. Yeah, we're gonna. No camera here. Okay, let's see what it will render anyways. Maybe something good. No, this is the stairs. It is lagging, but it's not gonna crash. Yeah, so this one has the paper patterns, alright, so it's just supple. Yeah, but it's not really working. The sun is particularly interesting with that's just a procedural wave texture and with some noise and some roughness, which causes this gradient soft stuff with a few granularity. Of course we can edit this stuff, right? This shot, this frame, and we can get the best of it or something maybe much better than this one. If you want to see what it looks like in this other compositor that I have here, which I don't even remember. Oh no, this is a dual composite, yeah, so never mind. I have to dismantle it from... Yeah, this one's still using the deprecated setup here that... Yeah, it was not working, and... I wonder if I should I think I'm gonna delete this because I think I have something better. It was not the last state, and without I'm gonna try pure EV. Okay, so here we have an addition. Okay, we're gonna delete this thing because the other scene, because it is just will just create confusion at this time. My new setup doesn't use that dual compositing. So this is not the scene where the dual compositing is super important, so I can delete that. So we're working just with EV now. But then of course the result of this one would be probably very interesting, although there have been some updates in good solution, good stuff, right? These new light effects, maybe they made the EV much better right now, but I don't have time for this. I'm on this new approach, so let's see. I think they're just gonna destroy this EV because it's probably deprecated with all these changes. This scene never worked very well in terms I haven't completed the totally satisfactory compositing on it, so it's why I don't care. It's not I made a lot of work in modeling, but not so much progress in the compositing. What are these? Oh yeah, these are these paper stuff, temporary Shift P, I think, yeah, so I don't know where to organize this thing here. It's just all crappy. Oh yeah, it goes there. And then it goes there, so no, it's not what I want. It's one of the worst introductions of this node I've ever made. I need to find a better way to... Something here is not responding well. Yeah, these blacks here. Usually you have more blacks, but this is, in this case, we'll have to the space is consuming too much, yeah, so and then some brightnesses are very disruptive. We need to have stars shining. I'm not able to do this right now because of the lack of the other setup. Yeah, I need to. There's some glare stuff. This scene don't contain it, unfortunately. I have to readdress that later. So here we can at least save this one. It's not very cool, but just as feedback, right, on what we've been achieving. Yeah, this one actually is better than the render itself, I think, for some reason. All right, so this is the challenge that it'll take a long time to fix all the things, but there's just some areas that I need. Even this one I'm working is more for tests. Probably I don't need it immediately. So we're gonna focus on the scene and characters, right? So let's try this rigging nodes and see what we have here. I don't even know. It probably is some sort of editor. Rigging nodes. Okay, so there's at least two of these. These armature objects. Not sure I should start with this. Probably I should start on a new file, but yeah, I'm not gonna. I don't know anything about this practically. I know I have some glance on the function, how it works, but right now I don't think I can create anything, especially not in the state of the rig. So very important. I think this is revolutionary. If it is really doing what I'm thinking, what I've read about it. So here we're gonna go back to some things before I had to leave. We're gonna address the brow and the eyebrow region. So here's some eye key bone constraints for this mechanism. Is already working. We're gonna change this. Yeah, this has been changed. This indeed is working. Then we can offset this, right? But there's not a lower eyebrow, so it's just this setup indeed for the orbicularis oculi. This not yet should control this could control the eyelids maybe, or we have a main controller that will do that. So okay, we ignore this. So this is still orbicularis oculi muscle, but they changed the position of the eyebrow. And the eyebrow, they are just the manipulation of these tweakers. And these tweakers, they follow these tweakers. There's an extra tweaker here. And these are just handles. And here the mesh is very disoriented. I think I'm suffering some shrink wrapping control problems. Not sure what this... Oh, it's snapping. No, it's not. Other things are interfering here. Well, maybe this. Yeah, so this apparently is not good for these bones on this region. It's a bit too risky, maybe. Okay, and we have many things to solve here in terms of the shrink wrapping. So first thing, we're gonna address the shape key that is Alright, so we're gonna do the following. New shape from mix, so this is full and this is the collapsed. So, and this is the basis which you're gonna invert. Make a... So if I'm not wrong, this should work. So we're gonna be... Actually not... Okay, it's refusing to go to the same location. This doesn't seem normal behavior. Okay, I think I understand. It's because it's... but it's not good, right? So... this will be... another way would be... no, I think I tried this skin modifier. Now it doesn't really work for the... no, it could work. And then the mesh start to rotate crazily. Yeah, it has problem with the roll. Okay, we can at least figure out if this thing will... Okay, apparently we collapsed everything, it destroyed everything. Okay, wrong mistake here. I still don't understand. Yeah, so it got disrupted. It's not merged, but fortunately the shape was already crap, already very bad, so we didn't lose anything relevant here. Right, so back here we're gonna yeah, so the mesh refused to... I don't remember facing this. Oh, I see. Okay, maybe we should be doing this from the basis. Now this is the real, yeah. So we have to decollapse, but I really don't know why we're having to struggle this way other time. So yeah, what we can do is try to find the proper positioning for these joints. Maybe there's a bit excessive subdivisions here, but we can never be sure. So let's try this. This joint seems a bit not in the right distribution. Alright, so I have these bases, and now we're gonna get the... yeah, so we can't use this method. We're gonna... like the... we can use the method, but we can't find the economic way. this is just the mirror. No, it's just shadow glitch. Yeah, it is also inverted, so we're gonna it's not sure we'll be able to flip this in the Okay, let's try to do this correctly. I'm getting... Okay, let's bring this up then. Yeah, this is why I wanted to do the opposite. There is one way, but I just can't... Wasn't successful this time. Ah, snapping tool, right. Seriously, why this is not a single vertex? I think it creates some bad I remember bad experience. Let's just keep this more regular. Okay, so here what we got is eyelash no, it's eyelash anatomic flip kit. No, eyebrows. I need to go sleep already. Eyebrows. Oh yeah, and then okay, need to be yeah, so I don't know, this thing is really now it inverted and I lost all the progress for maybe this thing is what is going on? I've did everything here is disabled. Okay, I'll try again. So shape from X, so now this is equal to basis, and this is will be the collapsed. So the collapsed we're gonna Then what happens is that they have problem with the positioning, that they don't stack. Well, now they are stacking, yeah, great. What I'm trying to do is to have the shrink wrapping mechanism to shrink wrap. First, this has multiple functionalities. We're gonna move this shape key up. So now this is terribly collapsed, but we have we don't have. Let's bring this back. So I want this one to become the basis. So what does it take? It's very confusing, but I did something like that and it worked. Like they are not inverting, right? There we go. So I need to delete the bases, and so the other one occupy its place. Okay, so yeah, it's a bad position here because I wasn't able to fix it. So this, it wasn't just snapping in a terrible ways. But now we can test the effects of we can test the behavior. The shrink wrapping. We're gonna check this deforms. If this eyebrow is having some sort of incoherent. Let's see, this is a bug. Okay, so nothing wrong here. We could have a... This could be preserved volume, I guess. Maybe subdivide first and then we... It was an exception, but maybe this works slightly better at this point. Yeah, it seems to be better. This is very bad behavior for this unexpected. Why it should be doing this? Okay, first I have the shrink wrap. Maybe it's a bad idea. It's not this. Okay, so these keys, maybe they are unnecessary at this point. Let's see how we did the... I remember I have... No, I still have this key. Okay, so... Yeah, I have still some key bone constraint there, so... I don't think these are responsible for this. Oh yeah, it's a snappy. Yeah, that's it. Let's have probably to... Yeah, but this still can go wild because of the... It's not following the key. Okay, it's following this. Interesting. So this is actually dangerous for... Why this one doesn't suffer this stuff? Yeah, because they don't have a... Because this is just eyelids. This is eye pulp or orbicularis oculi plus eyebrow. So this should be part of this eye kitchen. So what are the parenting here? Mechanism eye key owner. Oh yeah, so that's why, of course. We need to mimic these parents, otherwise these are not following the eye key chain. These they need to have the same parenting here. And then through bone constraints we can do another layer of connections. Or yeah, it's the tweakers, the handles. What for the handles? These handles are just... What kind of handles are these ones? Tweak eye hole, so they are... The handles are just parented to the... to the tweaker, which is this thing. Yeah, so this is not a problem. We just have to rename some of these. Okay, now we got to keep doing the same parenting. So this tweak eye hole has this parent, must be the same of the tweak eyebrow. This one, yeah. Right here we have a problem because there is... Okay, we'll use the same... We'll use this parent here. Okay, so now the eyebrows follows. Yeah, it distorts a lot, but it is, the bones are not displacing terribly. Gonna enable these shrink wraps. We can offset this just parented to the tweak eyebrow. Yeah, this is correct. Without any bone constraint. So this scaling here is because of the... Yeah, you could disable this eye key stretch maybe. Or actually we can leave the eye key stretch, but we can change some options here. Yeah, they have bone constraints. No, stretch too? No, they don't have. Okay, but they have. Okay, no, this does nothing. So it's the inverse kinematics. It's already the minimum stretch. Yeah, so. Okay, maybe we don't do like a stretch here. This is an eye key option. What is? I'm controlling this. This being affected by an eye key chain, I guess. This shouldn't... There's no target here, or there is... Yeah, there is this one. Yeah, so the behavior is super weird right here. Not sure what. The shape's even worse. This shrink wrap, maybe we need to we don't want this to be pushing away, but it's causing too much. We're gonna do as I used to do. I bring this before. Shrink wrap target, yeah, the proxy face indeed. There's nothing too different about, too weird about the rest. Okay, so this is this effect of the, not the handle, so this is the effect of this Ike bone constraint. In this particular setup, this doesn't seem to be a great idea. Maybe this one could be an okay idea. Maybe this provides a quick automation here, not sure. But when it comes to these ones, this seems to be a mistake. So instead we're gonna just use the default solution. And here we can control the volume variation. Maybe we don't want this to. Parenting here, we're gonna parent this to the tweaker. Okay, now I have a simpler regular spline. So this thing, I wasn't expecting this. I could expect many craziness, but was not expecting this one. Is not confused. This is the eyebrow, right? This is the other one. No, this is the eye hole, this is the eyebrow. Okay, then we get this to parent here, keep offset. This one to parent here already. I have difficulty visualize how the others are not going nuts, but that's fine. Okay, another way to solve this is perhaps to shrink wrap not the mesh but the bendy bone. It's a similar effect since these bones, they are shrink wrapped themselves. So by shrink wrapping the bones instead of the mesh, if we have maybe some, we can prevent, because it's clear that the proxy mesh here is not it's deforming sync, but it's clear that something here is not functioning. So it seems that it is a bit too risky to be doing this, so I'm gonna delete the shrink wrap bone constraint. This effect here didn't seem to provide any help. The shape key, the shrink wrapping. This will be more for skinning, right? Because in the end, I did an experiment with the arcade, but I can't confirm exactly. But here it was clear that this seemed to be not providing any positive result. Because in the end the mesh will spread because of the morph, and then they will individually shrink wrap in the current state. This is, I think, this theoretically what will happen. So there's like the shape key, the order. I think they might be running some cycle. They need to find each other. So the what happens for the shrink wrapping or the shape key. I think the shape key goes after. So it is mysterious. I cannot find the exact solution, but it looks like that I don't want to have the... Yeah, we're gonna... Maybe we're gonna just move this here. Yeah, and see, when we move, we lose the... So it's okay, I don't want that collapse thing, but I will make another test here, which for this low poly highly interests me. We're gonna again snap this yeah, I'm gonna make this chip alignment, the good life. We can always try to find the best joints, but in the end the bones also need to match. Everything here needs to match, so here maybe you have several problems, but what we want is to have the eyebrow. We don't need this. We want a... This could be done with yeah, solidify. Don't solidify a something like this, right? Other solidify plus a skin modifier. Okay, well, what is this thing? Okay, whatever is happening, maybe this was the armature modifier, some conflict with the... Oh, I see what this is, of course. Control A. There we go. So maybe this is the best way to... if it keeps rotating, then it's like tilting, right? We cannot really tilt it. Alright. Now the shrink wrap is indeed a single edge loop. So but it starts to get some crazy artifacts. We need some subdivision maybe. Doesn't work alone. No, it's because of the... What about solidify? This doesn't seem to be very good. Maybe it's not too terrible, but I try to ignore this. Okay, why don't see the... Yeah, this seems to be more... Seems to have a bit more potential not to go nuts. Maybe. Yeah, the shrink wrapping. No, it's still very bad. Yeah, here I'm sure is the shrink wrap to the ghost that is not being... It's changed the target. They're just... It is wrong, but something is going wrong about the target of this shrink wrap. This mesh is not helping the... Yeah, but the same problem happens here. It's not a problem of waves, I think. The bones are getting very... Yeah, the bones are trying to do their jobs. It's just the... We see as it tries to shrink wrap, it doesn't respond well. Also because these bones also are shrink wrapping, so maybe the tweakers, as they shrink wrap, they were... Yeah, maybe it's the control rig. Yeah, Not so much. Let's enable the shrink wrapping here. Yeah, no. This shrink wrap we're gonna should be a positive value. And yeah, we need some sort of solidify thing. Oh yeah, this is a problem of the skin modifier. It's don't know orientations very well. So then we skin and then we shrink wrap. Okay, maybe. Yeah, but then also very bad. The control rig doesn't necessarily need shrink wrap, more about the deform rig could hold this, and then we do whatever we want with this. Okay, we need some setup here. Okay, so in part this is artifacts, bad wave paint, so can probably improve this. We've made change to this spline, so maybe that's just oh, okay. This no waves for this. There is a problem with wave painting this thing. There's no faces, I think there's, so we're gonna just okay, but it's still very crude, the shapes of this thing. I never had so much difficulty with this, so just for a simple thing, so I really don't know what's going on with this crazy thing. Let's take off this shrink wrap and then we're gonna do this per bone. So basically it will be these things. For now use this target, and we're gonna give, yeah, on surface we could use, yes, the Z. And as long as we position the bones accurately, then that should be fine. I can just snap this. Yeah, no, this will be causing a lot of recap, but we can adjust that later. So now the eyebrow has no shrink wrap. Yeah, so the shrink wrap modifier for this is garbage, right? It's very difficult to have it. Shrink wrapping the bone constraint is safer. But then of course we have start to get these intersections, and so for this we'll need to make the automations. We need to make specifically for, so this is a bit boring, but at least it's just for the eyebrows. It's like, so we get, for example, these splines, and there is an add-on that is some B-bone we want here and here, because these are the larger ones, so just one. I'm not sure how we do this tool, some sort of B-bone tool is the name of the add-on. So we've also convert to, okay, we're gonna convert this one. Not sure we need, I think the target mesh is just the, oh no, this is okay, this is a custom. Actually, I'm not sure what this is, so let's just see here. Yeah, like this. It's not what I did this. So we can delete this. Yeah, so here we got one. This is a deformed bone. Yeah, so. In this case, this B bone might not be deformed bones, but whatever. Yeah, to convert properly, we need really to have. But okay, we got. Yeah, then we have the wave paint problem of this thing. That's very annoying. Yeah, I probably don't want the single. That strategy was just for shrink wrapping, but it's garbage also. We don't have the. I don't know, I think it recognizes. No, it will change. Okay, so. Yeah, so here it doesn't matter. Basically, to get this with the proper bone constraints of follow B bone, we adjust B bone. So it's just a rotation. And rotation, yeah, just this. In my experience, you don't need everything. You can just. It's not the ideal, right? But we could. That could be sufficient. It's so easy to do just one that it's really not. And on top of that, we're gonna add the shrink wrap. However, we'll have to readjust. Oh yeah, the original is already like this. Okay, so they'll have the same shrink wrap, exactly the same. Yeah. So now these bones, they will not enter. They should not enter. So you can pose. It's not very good that the control bones are sort of free. They can sometimes have a lot of issues, but then you see that this can be more or less reliable. Here what we still need to develop is the waves, right? The bone is shrink wrapping, but the waves are not ready. So I'm gonna fix this thing here because this definitely this skin is modifier doesn't help, unfortunately. So we're gonna And of course, we might not want to have the whole bendy bone with these waves, right? We could wave the handles instead, and then these bendy bones, they just become mechanism bones. That will be the correct approach here. But since these bones will just steal waves like this, so it's a lot of waves stolen. Maybe not as much as I would like, but it's at least yeah, it's at least 50%, so it's not too bad. This we're gonna reduce a little. So here we can have the subdivision, we can have this solidify, which also will help a lot. No, not this. Yeah, can decide that okay, it will be I think the mesh is very bad, right? So there's a problem that we have too much geometry for the eyelids and too little for the forehead, for this area maybe. There are lots of inconsistencies here, okay, but yeah, possibly the names here are very wrong. Okay, I have a complete misery here. The name of the fine. Okay, then happened to this? Yeah, we need to reset some bones, right? Let's see. Not symmetrizing properly, or lacking some jerky motion, if we say that. Okay, no shrink wrapping here. No stretch too, actually. Okay, now we have follow up. This lost the bone constraints, great. So gonna just copy and change the target. I starting finally to get consistent. Yeah, this is good. Okay, so keep stuff simple, but the stretch does the shrink wrapping modifier for the eyebrow is really nightmarish. Sometimes it seems to work fine, but it has a lot of caveats. Okay, enable this one. We still have problem with the shrink wrapping here. It's like the mesh is going. Why does not seems to be? This bone seems to be very inside the face or something like that. And the mesh doesn't... And it's all still very weird. Looks like, for me this looks like rogue waves. Oh, there's just this. Alright, so maybe I exaggerated in these ones. Yeah, so the bendy bones, they can sometimes dispute waves in a very weird way with regular deformed bones. It's possibly that I really would need to use the handles as the deforms and turn the bendy bones non-deformed bones. So we are almost there, right? And what is this? This bone seems to be what's happening to it. We got some double shrink wrap. Yes, yes, yes. So now finally we start to get something more consistent. Yeah, now it starts to get smooth and adequate. So we can, what is this? Great, so now we start to have, this is working. You see the brow can tweak the eyebrow. Through some indirect posing, which I don't see here. What is causing this automation here? Oh yeah, the automation is from this tweaker, right? Exactly. But does it need these automations? These don't have, right? Okay. So, IK doing brow and eyebrow. Okay. This is what I want, so finally. Yeah, the shape of the eyebrow is still a bit weird, but it's at least it's smooth as this shrink wrapping. We can probably expand and enlarge. Okay, we have some weird things there. As we snap this back to the base mesh, it's still not like, what is doing? This thing is like crazy. Doesn't want to. Okay, no, I was pressing control, of course. While I shouldn't, the opposite. Let's leave this completely smooth without edge creases. I found that at some point I always have questions about what works best here, but there's the possibility, of course, to make another subdivision here. It might work better for still getting Okay, now, no, still. What is the? Yeah, it's getting better, but this is something that there are some bones here which are I see. The indeed. So we have some splines here which are kind of disrupted. The mesh is displaced right from the. So here the best way, we have lesser bones to care about, right? It's not sure where would be the position of the eyebrow, but yeah, I think it's a bit too high here, so we're gonna yeah, so this was a major struggle, but I fixed this many times, and this version maybe of Blender also struggling with this. Maybe it has some slight different understanding about certain things, bugs that needs to be fixed sometimes, rigs that are not very responsive. So here is the, yeah, so the problems here, we need to adjust everything, right? We could indeed try to match some point in space based on the exact snapping of the bones also onto the face. So for example, I know that so we can use, for example, all this junk here to snap on face without, yes, with this, but without a line and not face project. So now you have exactly something like this. Now here I know, I see already there is something that is this one might be okay if it's not exactly onto the bone, but we could, this is more about the, yeah, this is a specific one, no brow subdivision there. This is the a little boring to do. Here also I think here everything seems to be matching, but this handle seems to be suffering. We can probably align some curvatures here, yes. Also, why not these B-bones? And here we might have some bones that are not matching. Yeah, so we tried a different approach and almost nothing worked. This one seems to be okay. This is orbicularis oculi. This is the tweaker, right, for the eyebrow, and this doesn't have a shrink wrap bone constraint, although it then the because of that sometimes it goes nuts if we pose. Yeah, so it's not very if you don't force it's fine, but it's a bit weird. I'm not satisfied. The result is also a little shaky. No, this very yeah, so what's happening here is that the Ikey has a little trouble getting the curvature for the B-bones. So this is a different problem. It doesn't seem to be very adaptive, while if I pick, for example, if I were to pose this might be a little more adaptable, but it's still dancing with the shrink wrapping. So I think I cannot continue this thing if I don't solve what's going on to this proxy face here. I've refreshed it, but it might be that divisions, yes, maybe you have some dependency cycles going on. Handle eyelid, even eyelid, okay. Yeah, so indeed some very... What could be the problems for this? Let's see. Eyebrow, yeah, it shouldn't have eyebrow to start with, and it doesn't have, so that's fine, but it could have Alright, have eyelid, right? Eyelid, we... Yeah, we can accidentally delete. This thing is going crazy. I thought it was this option, but no, it's just removing is completely awkward. It behaves like the way it wants. Like there, suddenly it stops. Alright, so we're gonna, yeah, there are some waves here and here which shouldn't be, or some bones here. We can already fix this. Yeah, we also need to reposition these waves. Okay, not sure this will grant the effect that we want for the cartoon character, but this would be start to get that frown expression in better shape. Maybe this thing we need to think twice if it's still deforming too much the lower area. What's this? We shouldn't have this amount of influence here. Yeah, all this thing way down here is a bit too dangerous. Here in the eyelids it's okay, but not too much. Okay, a little better. And but yeah, for now I'm very satisfied that I was able to fix some things about these bones here. Yeah, the whole setup here has changed. No, not the whole setup. We got some important adjustments, more strategic, right? So I'm thinking maybe what can we achieve with still too much waves there in terms. I already noted that it's changed. Maybe we need to make this entire B-bone structure here since we have this add-on, and then we use yeah, this will become just for the eyebrow, because very good eyebrow rig is actually tricky, very difficult. Depending, there's some techniques like I'm doing is super tricky, like yeah, we also this ghost mesh. Usually we don't use a ghost mesh for the upper face. I think it's more for the mouth things, but in this case I found utility for this. Notably, well, let's consider the following. Maybe those things are deprecated. Look at this shrink wrapping here. No, it's not too bad, but we can probably think something different here. For example, we might not need the bones, the mesh of the forehead or this area, they follow the bones. So in exchange, the bones don't need to follow the mesh because they push and they drag and push the mesh, right? So the bones, the control rig and the deform rig, with the deform rig following the control rig, whatever. Okay, there is the mechanism rig and there can be some offset, but so they don't need to follow, right? They don't need to shrink wrap to a target because they already manipulate the mesh. So maybe we can simplify this rig, right? And just use the muzzle, the ghost, the lower face, right? Then what, because this setup I'm improving and try to find better solutions over time. So, and currently this, the way I knew that seemed good, actually it's being nightmarish, as you can see. So what is happening to this bone? We are having some trouble with parenting, I guess. This bone is parented to depth eye hole. Okay, no, depth. Okay, it's parent to this, and this is parent to Okay, I think I'm gonna just do this one. Alright, so this deform. So what needs to be done is that click I key. Alright. But we're gonna do a fake parenting. Towards the eye hole, right? So it will be, we'll try to, yeah, we're gonna once again well, we're gonna just hide these shrink wraps, disable them. Right, so this is, yeah, no, there's a little problem there, but what we're gonna do is that we're gonna use a total fake parent. Good. Total follow-up. And total follow-up, yeah, fake parenting. Alright, so we can, the bone is following, so it's following the mesh. The eyebrow is more or less accurately, right, where the bone goes, the forehead and the eyebrow also go. And then we can offset the eyebrow additionally if we want. So this is a way, it's not shrink wrapping, but it's a way to bind the eyebrow to the brow in a indirect way. It's elegant, right? It's default. Took me a lot of time to figure out the simplicity of this thing. No shrink wrapping involved, however. Okay, and also for this one, now we're gonna, maybe now we're gonna use so here we're gonna use a different, same target there, but we're gonna use a maybe lower value here, something like this, right? So maybe a little more, so because here there's no handle for this one. Yeah, so I'm sorry about that too. Way more than it needed, but I'm doing some experimental things here. It seems to be working for the most part here. How to get good deforms regarding expression here? This is something that I will have to investigate. Yeah, so this pushing the mesh up too much, right? Why are they not getting symmetry? There we go. Okay. Let's hide this, is distracting. Yeah, I got some weird shadings here and there, wrong textures everywhere, but I think we're sort of getting the effect not very nicely, but we are getting something is happening that wasn't happening before. So it's just now a question of tweaking, observing how that can be improved, and that's it. Yeah, and here you need to find a way to improve this bro thing, right? Maybe this could control some other features of the face. These things, I think they perhaps need to key stretch a little more. Yeah, otherwise we might not get much control over this stuff. Because this key chain is, oh yes. So here is this. What we can do is we can of course get a pole target. We are gonna add a bone here. Just what's this tweaker do? This could be a pole target. Yeah, if I knew. Okay, no, this can be the pole target. We need a new bone that is not parented to this garbage, right? Of interaction, right? Okay, so I just bind this to the master. That should be sufficient. We need to okay, it looks like that it's a full loop. Or maybe not that much. Yeah, so you see we can do this, so that means that we can sort of pivot this. It's not yeah, it's like, yeah, it can, not exactly what I want, yeah, but we get this kind of behavior which is interesting, yet they never you see it does it's a bit more consistent than just the bendy bone spline, so it's it has some more it can do a few more stuff, right, with this some degree of automation. Maybe too much stretch here. But it's not that simple, right? We want something that is more expressive and more useful, right? It's not because we have the controls that that's easy to animate. But I see potential in this. The problem is that sometimes it behaves in a bit strange way, but it has, yeah, it is plausible still with just the to improve the skinning. Certainly way more interesting, but it's yeah, it looks a bit too much overwhelming for just this single feature, right? With but my concept of animation is like you have all the sort of possibilities of controlling I key, F key, tweaking. As long as it is fun, it can be funny. Like I think this is kind of funny, right? And I know that with you need a spline I key bone constraint to have something like that, or just one bendy bone spline with or something like this. Then when you just operate with bendy bone splines, it may sometimes it may look like this is I key, right? You see, but it takes more time to pose. You need to do this, then you do this, then you do this. I key, no. In the case of I key, precisely what we get is a full. We might have a change to all the chain, right? So it's more it's more in depth. It goes deeper in the automation, but it might not be very. Yeah, it can add a lot of complications indeed. But I think it started restarting to work here in this other approach, and then we have this other thing, which why not, right? Okay, this expression we need to balance it, yeah, develop it more and fix some crazy shapes that are going on, and automate the eyelids in relation to the brow. Yeah, we can't continue with this lack of automation here, because sometimes we want to pose here. I think we cannot just depend on the so you have some bone here. Yeah, so there are some automations here that we need to revise at this point. And also I'm gonna make a radical change, not too complicated for me at least, but we're gonna change the rest position once again. I'm gonna go back. My conclusion finally is that the challenge in the character design for the eyelids, especially the stylized eyelash, closing the eyes, the closed eyes is way more important than having the eyes wide open with the good shapes. It's much harder to close the eyelids, and it's much more fundamental. Eye blinks all the time, right? Rest pose of the eyelids, sleeping, whatever, happy expression, sad expression, all with the eyelids closed, the eyes closed. So there are at least three, right? Straight, happy, sleepy, I don't know. So, and for the eyelids it's fine, but not for the eyelashes. And I tried this, just I need a corrective shape key, and because of the three shapes, that might not be super relevant. So instead we're gonna provide the straight, which is more regular, horizontalized somewhat. Probably some diagonal, but still straight. Straighten up, then mostly straighten up. Then we're gonna, according to character design, and then this rest position will be the closed. We're gonna automate an instant constant transform to have the eyes open. And as for the collapsing mesh geometry on the, it's not necessary, but yeah, I want to do this little challenge. So this will, in my calculations, we just need some sort of helper bone, maybe more than one, yeah, one for, at least one for the top, one for the bottom, that will handle the collapsing, so it will start to push the mesh or drag the mesh accordingly to the when the eyelid close, and they start to reorganize, start to collapse regularly. So this is not easy to do. Actually, it's very challenging to do it accurately. But this is much less of a problem because we don't really see what's going on with the mesh here with the shrink wrap. So it the damage to the rig model is much less relevant. It's astronomically less relevant than the difficulty of spontaneously closing the eyelids. So that was my conclusion. I made a wrong assessment, I think, for a long time. But also my techniques changed or improved, and things that for me were very difficult before, like now I have a technique to improve the shape of the eyelash, but even that technique is not working very well for it doesn't do the job of the clothes for this. So we're gonna go for that as we keep developing this stuff. So that's it for today, folks. Thanks for watching. Take care. Happy blending. Have a nice weekend. I'll be back on the weekend for more of this, and I'll be training. Yeah, make sure you get this extension rigging nodes, right? The Mantis rigging nodes. This is probably, I'm gonna be using this for like I was about to learn some scripting for Rigify add-on, but actually this will do everything that I wanted. So I can make all this into a somewhat a meta rig with these rigging nodes. If I learn this thing, if it works properly as it seems that it should. Very sophisticated approach, very interesting, very potentially revolutionary. So I'll be able to share this the automation of these rigs, yeah, custom rigging. That will be very good. Hope that is like that. Thanks for watching, folks. Take care, have a good day, and learn rigging nodes if you can as soon as possible. See ya, folks.